Where does the Halloween franchise go from here now that Halloween Ends is over? All right, so now that Halloween Ends has come and gone, there's a lot of theories on what could happen moving forward with the Halloween franchise. The biggest one being that Corey survives. And a lot of people are thinking, well, how could he have survived? We saw at the end of Halloween Ends where Michael breaks into Laurie's house, finds Corey on the ground, snaps his neck, and now Corey's dead. And Michael and Laurie get into the huge fight leading to Michael's death. You got to remember that Corey became the new Michael in a way when Michael passed on his powers to him. You know, he was out there doing Michael's work since Michael was too weak to go out there and do it himself. He sent Corey out, and he was starting to take on a lot of the mannerisms, you know, hiding behind the bush, stalking, doing little things like that. So it's possible that maybe that power continues. Remember, Michael faced the fire in Halloween 2018. He faced the mob in Halloween Kills. He was shot so many times in that movie, and the mob pretty much beat the shit out of him. So if Michael was that hard to kill after taking that beating in Halloween Kills, taking on the fire in 2018, then if he would have passed that power on to Corey, then it's possible that maybe that next snap just didn't do it, or maybe he really didn't go all the way through it and kill Corey. So then what happens if Corey did survive? Well, what if this were to carry on to either another film or a Peacock series where Corey really takes on that role of the new killer, the new stalker, where this time instead of stalking Laurie Strode, he follows that same timeline and that same process just with a different person, right? Now, Allison has left Haddonfield. Corey follows her to now finish the job he started. He wanted to take hold of Allison, and same thing that Michael wanted with Laurie. So he follows Allison to wherever she ends up. What if the story gets deeper and we find out that Allison had a child? Now Corey has a whole nother person to go after on top of Allison. And it kind of follows the original timeline with Halloween where Michael goes after Laurie. Laurie dies. He goes after Laurie's daughter, Jamie, and so on. And then, you know, if you look at Halloween 6 even, he goes after the baby. So it's kind of following that same timeline. He's going after Allison, then going after the child, and you could really drag this on for another couple of movies or another Peacock series or something like that. So that's one way they could go with the future of Halloween. But what if it went an entirely different way? And we think back to Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, where we see the Halloween 3 masks, right? We see the Silver Shamrock masks. What if they were to go that route? At the end of Halloween Ends, we see Allison leaving Haddonfield. Well, what if she ends up in Santa Mira, California, which, if you remember, was the main town where Silver Shamrock was in Halloween 3. So she ends up there. Now we find a way to tie in those masks that we kept seeing through all those movies and find a way to bring them into this new timeline. And maybe in this timeline, Corey is dead, but now she's got a new evil to deal with, right? Now she's got Connell Cochran, the villain from Halloween 3. And now they tie in these Halloween masks, and he's going after children, and, you know, the same storyline we saw in Halloween 3, just a much deeper one dragged out over the course of an entire series or something like that. So those are the two ways that I would like to see them go with it. I'd like to see either Corey survived it and he's the new killer and he goes after Allison and the child, if there's a child. And then the other way is she went to Santa Mira, California, and now we get the introduction of the Halloween 3 timeline. Let me know what you guys think. What would you like to see brought into the new Halloween timeline if they were to drag this storyline further, if they were to continue the Halloween franchise? Would you want to see Corey back? Would you want to see Halloween 3? Do you have a completely different idea?